Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. We are delighted you could join us tonight to celebrate Shabbat and also celebrate with the Vandeveld family as their daughter Rose is celebrating becoming Bat Mitzvah. So we're going to get started with our service, our Friday night Kabbalah Shabbat service in just a moment. A couple of important things you should know is that this is the first time that Cantor and I have been on the beam together in quite some time. And Cantor says, oh, everybody already knows about that. And I said, no, everybody who opens our emails already knows about that. So some of you may be surprised, but this is something we've been working toward for a long time. We've had many committee meetings about it.
We did.
And we've both been fully vaccinated for a couple of months now, and now we're starting to change the wiring and things, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But we are delighted to be celebrating together, just like we're celebrating together with you, whether you're coming in on StreamSpot, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, you're in the right place, and we're glad you're here. So a couple of other things about the synagogue is that this is a musical community. We love to sing here. We hope you'll sing along with us. Even if you're on mute, that's when I do some of my best singing, is when I think nobody can hear me. So please sing along to a song that you know or a song that you kind of know. You can hum with us. Everybody knows the words to that. You could tap on your table. You could take out your tuba. You do you. But you will have a better experience of the service. I've even thought about giving out dancing trophies to the people who do the best dancing on Zoom. So no promises. But please feel free to shake your limbs and share your voices, and you'll have a better experience. I will be calling page numbers out of a book, and if you don't have one of these books, the Sidur Sim Shalom for Shabbat, we're going to have a link in the chat if you happen to be joining us on Zoom. And so with that, we are going to begin to welcome in Shabbat by there's this traditional song that welcomes in the angels, who are kind of the emissaries or the guardians of Shabbat, who come and bless us and leave in peace and escort us throughout this holy time. And it's Shalom Aleichem, and it's on page number 13. I hope you'll join us.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mo'achem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei
Man, that felt way better. I just had to pause and notice that. So there's just, even as we're increasing the sound here, we're also increasing the light in our homes as in our hearts in this holy occasion, and we do that by lighting Shabbat candles. And so now, if we go to the chapel, to the Nell Chapel, I'd like to call up Karen and Eric and Rose and Jonah and May Vandeveld and Lori Tamas for the candle lighting. But before that, I think Nancy's going to share a story on Zoom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Our family candlesticks belong to Pauline Brenner, Dawn's grandmother, and Rose's great-great-grandmother. And the candlesticks are sitting on a tablecloth that belonged to my mother, Rose's great-grandmother, and served as the chuppah for Karen and Eric's wedding.
Beautiful. Let's go to the chapel for lighting the candles.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'chalikne shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. One of the great gifts of our tradition is recognizing our humanness. We don't just go from a weekday state to a Shabbat state like flipping a switch on a robot. We need help ascending out of the work week into Shabbat. And our tradition gives us a kind of a ladder, a holy escalator, if you will. And we call it Kabbalah Shabbat. It's a series of prayers and psalms and songs which allow us to ascend the staircase before we get to our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu. That starts with a psalm that begins Lechuna Ranana, and you can sing along with us on page 15. Page 15. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana.
Arba'im shana akud ladon va'omar amal to'ei levavam ve'hem lo yadu אשר נשבעתי ואפי אם יבואון אל מנוחתי.
Page 16. 16. mitzvotav gadol Adonai, u'ulam melod noraun al kol elodim. In a moment, we're going to go to page 22. I just wanted to notice something. You know, my favorite part of those songs where we sort of stop saying the words for a bit and say la 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 la, something like that. You know my favorite part of that? Everybody knows the words. It's a song that everybody could sing, so I hope people take advantage of that. We're now going to go to Lecha Dodi. We're going to start in the middle of Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi is this original composition of merely 500 years ago that the Kabbalists of Sfat put together. When they thought of Shabbat entering the world as the sun was going down, they wanted to make it special. And they thought, what if we greeted Shabbat like somebody walking down the aisle at their wedding and you're a guest at that wedding? Or what if we greeted Shabbat like royalty visiting our town? And we said to this honored guest, come, my beloved. That's what Lecha Dodi means. And we're going to start it on page 22.
Let's try that melody again. Lecha ימינו שמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת מקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת מקבלה בואי בשלום עטרת מעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה Try that again together לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה
We're now going to go back to the chapel. It's a point in our service where we like to share a special psalm that's just for Shabbat. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. It's on page 23. Page 23, the psalm for Shabbat, will be led by Jonah and May Vandeveld.
A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God. To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp. Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation. How vast your works, Adonai, your designs are beyond our grasp. The thoughtless cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this. The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish, all the wicked shall crumble. But me you have greatly exalted, I am anointed with fragrant oil. I've seen the downfall of my foes, I've heard the despair of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree, they shall grow like a tall cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, it will thrive in the courts of our God.
They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be fresh and fragrant. To proclaim Adonai is just, my rock, whose theme there is no flaw.
Yasher Koach, very well led.
Super cute.
And now we are going to flip to the other page 23 because we have a song with the same content and intention in it. So page 23, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, לזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, באמונתך בלילות, עלי אסור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וכינור, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני ופועלך במעשה ידך, במעשה ידך ארנן. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מעודם קומה מחשבותיך. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מעודם קומה מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך
Before we move on from our Kabbalah Shabbat service into Mariv, I just want to share a few words of Torah. Can you hear me okay? So every time every time a door opens, a window breaks, and so we've done a lot of wiring this week, and then my other microphone decided it was going to go on strike. So pardon this guy right here, and we're going to figure this out because it's worth doing. I just want to share a few brief words of Torah about this Torah portion and also about this community. I'll start with the Torah, and then we'll talk about us. One of the many things that happens in Bahalotcha, in this Torah portion, which is always, I have to practice saying it every single time, I will say there's a theme. There's a lot of complaining that goes on. People are complaining about the food. People are complaining about this and that. People are complaining about the organizational structure. And what I mean by that is we experience this moment where Miriam and Aaron are complaining about their brother. And not just complaining. I mean, they're making it personal. Right, we're in chapter 2 of Bamidbar, and it says that Miriam and Aaron were saying nasty things about Moses, and they said, he married a Cushite woman. Of all things, he married a Cushite woman. But then right after that, they're talking about something else that they're complaining about. He said, and does God only speak to Moses? I mean, even our tradition regards Aaron as a priest, as the holiest leader of the civic religion. And Miriam is considered a prophetess. And they say, does God only speak through Moses? Have we not also heard what God has to say? Are we not also responsible for our people? And it ends poorly. Miriam gets sa'arat. Miriam gets this skin affliction that's described quite ickily if that's a word, in the book of Leviticus. So she gets like the scaly skin and stuff that's supposed to kick you out of the camp for a while. And our bat mitzvah astutely noted, she's going to talk about something else, so I'm not spoiling anything, but she astutely noted, is that fair that nothing happened to Aaron, but Miriam gets the scales? And we agreed that it's not. But what happens next is what I want you to take to heart. Not only did they challenge Moses' leadership, I mean, Korach does that and he gets swallowed up. Again, spoiler alert. But they made it personal. Like they said, you don't get to be boss, and blah, your wife. That's not cool. Right? If they had a beef with their role in society, maybe they could have talked about that. But then they're making fun of his family. And then his sister gets the scales. His sister gets sa'arat. By the way, this is the verse, so this is the section where they deduce that the sa'arat that they talk about in Leviticus, which is not leprosy, it's not even a physical condition in its origin. The rabbis believe that when people got that kind of affliction, it's because they were gossiping. It's because they were saying bad things about each other. And they wanted to make the point that that kind of talk is just as contagious and just as devastating on a community. And they say, we know that it's the evil speech that causes these scales because of what happened to Miriam. Now, what Moses could have said was, see? He could have said, serves you right. He could have said nothing and just been smug in his own rectitude. But that's not what he says. He cries out to God. And he says, El na rafanala, please, God, heal her. And he teaches us a valuable lesson. You can be right. You can know you're right and still not revel in the suffering of your opponent. Schadenfreude, which is a word Moses probably didn't know, Schadenfreude, a German word which means experiencing joy at the suffering of others, is not a Jewish value. And it's a heavy lift when someone attacks you, when someone attacks your authority, when somebody attacks your status, and they make fun of your family. Because we never really fight that fair. Even then, we can see the humanity in them. We can see that they are like us. We don't have to back down from our position. But we could pray for their healing. And this is a valuable lesson now and will be in the future. Speaking of the future, I was talking earlier about all that we've been doing to get, just as a microcosm, Cantor Ruth and I back on the Bema together. That's a big deal. That hasn't happened since like last summer. And the harmony feels way better when it's not coming through a monitor 100 yards away. And I hope you'll be able to hear that for yourself soon. There may be a rumor going around that we are working toward reopening, and that rumor is absolutely true and brings me great joy to tell you. There will be official communication coming from our safety and security task force telling you exactly when. We just wanted to see how this went tonight. And I've already broken a microphone. But that's happening. That's coming. And there are many hands making this light work, and it's still pretty heavy. So, I wanted you to be aware of that. And I'm sure there are people out there it brings at least as much joy as it brings to me. And it's given me pause to reflect about what next looks like. And people talk about things like hybrid services. Some people talk about, okay, does everybody have to be vaccinated to come to services? What kind of safety protocols do we have to follow? And things like that. And Baruch Hashem, we have a committee who is going to spell all that out for you and for us, because we're committed to abiding by what all of us figure out is the right way for this community to go forward. But last night I had a completely, I'll just say an insight that really moved me. We had a social hall, one of our many weekly social hall gatherings, where the speakers of the social hall are members of this community who live with disabilities, both visible and invisible. And people I've known for a couple of years now taught me things about their experiences that I had no idea. And in that moment, it crystallized for me why we've been doing what we've been doing and why we're going to do what we are going to do. We shifted radically to these online services for one reason and one reason alone, and that was pikuach nefesh, this Jewish value that saving a life, even a single life, supersedes just about everything in the Jewish project. That's why we did what we did. But if you ask the question, if pikuach nefesh is no longer an issue, why do we keep paying this high electrical bill? Why will, if I have my way, the cameras never turn off again? That's from another Jewish value. And that is kavod habriot. Hearing the stories of people for whom this way of connecting has been a life-changing experience. May God take my life if I take that away from them. Whether people are here in this community in Pasadena, whether people are coming in from far away and have joined the PJTC community from another state, and what that's meant to them. We turn the cameras on for pikuach nefesh. We're keeping the cameras on for kavod habriot. That is honoring all of God's creation. And that's going to come with some static. You are not going to agree with all of the decisions of the Safety and Security Commission, and at least one of you out there. I am not going to, let's say personally, agree with some of the things that, if I'm honest, I know we have to do. And there will be conflict. There will be someone asking someone else to put on the mask, and they say, I'm vaccinated, and then but then the person says, but she's not, or he's not, or they'll point down because it's a 5-year-old, they're not. And for us to get back together in an unsegregated fashion, because that's who we are, it's going to require a lot of safety. And there's going to be conflict. And it's going to be worth it. And that's why I wanted to bring to you tonight the story of Miriam and Aaron and Moses. And we can't all be Moses, but we can learn from that kind of empathy. Somebody can disagree with you on principle, and maybe to win the argument might even hit below the belt and dig into personal things, because that's what we do. In that moment, catch your breath and say, can I help them heal? Because it feels like we're healing. And that takes all of us to keep praying. Speaking of keeping praying, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us here at PJTC. I'd love it if you would turn with me to page 28 for our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu. It is going to be led wonderfully and ably by our bat mitzvah Rose in the chapel. She's going to face the ark. She's already doing it. Baruch Adonai Amborach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamburach Leolam Vaed.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם. We're going to ask Rose to turn around and continue in the middle of the page with the Ma'avidion.
Umavriom, umevi laila, umavdir ben yom uvin laila, Adonai tzavot shemo, Elohai v'kayam, tamidim loch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch hu baruch shemo.
Amahari v'adavim.
Amen. You may be seated if you wish. We have blessed God for causing the sun to rise and to fall. We also bless God for God's constant love, Ahavat Olam, on page 29.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Amen. We go back to the chapel where Rose will lead us in the Shema on page 30.
Shema Yisrael
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלבדך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue at your own pace in the middle of page 30. Rose is leading us at the top of page 31, page 31.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורתם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה להם לציצית וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא הבטחו אחרי לבבם, ואחרי עיניהם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים, וחיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אמת ואמונה כל זאת הקיים עלינו, אדוני אלוהים.
We're on page 32, page 32.
מלכות הרצון קיבלו עליהם, משה ומרים ונעשה לנו שירה, שמחה רב ואמרו כולם. Let's join together in the middle of the page. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי, אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shemo.
גאל ישראל.
Amen. you'll please turn with us to page 33. Page 33, we go back to the chapel where Lori Tamas is going to lead us in reading the Hashkibenu.
Protect us with your gift of peace by helping us to overcome temptation. When we are weak, sustain us. When we despair, open our hearts to joy. Shelter us in your embrace of peace when we are caught by conflict or desire. When we are torn, heal us. When we are tormented, touch us with tranquility. Cherish our fragmented lives, make our lives whole again through integrity. When we deceive, turn us to you. When we corrupt, capture our hearts anew. Protect us from ourselves. When we falter, help us to conquer the enemy within. When we blunder, restore us. With compassion, teach us that peace is based on your truth.
Yashkoach, well done. On the facing page 33, we've got a song about it, the same prayer in Hashkivenu in Hebrew. Please join us.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Together. Amen. 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 Amen.
We continue on page 34. Page 34.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. אוי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לאורם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
page 34 in the middle, Rose will lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadav v'yitkadosh Shemei Rabbah
Amen.
Ve'amad yivrak hirutei Ve'amlik malhutei V'chaye hon uvyomei hon Uv'hayedecho beit Yisrael Ba'agalha Uvismahan kari Va'imero
Amen.
Yehesh merabam nevorach le'olam ul'almei omaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yitbar v'yitrama v'yitnasei v'yithadar v'yithaler v'yithalol shmer kadesha
Brichu.
le'elam en kol bechata v'shir rahata tush b'chaza v'nechamata dami ramema ve'imeru.
Amen. Please rise if you are able for the Amidah for Shabbat Mariv on page 35b. Page 35b. This is a silent, or rather private prayer. So you can lean on the words of our tradition on 35b. They are strong, they'll support you. Or you can pray whatever words are in your heart. Take some time for yourself. And when you're finished with your private prayer, you may be seated, and we'll get back together in just a couple of minutes.
He who leratzon imrei fi vegion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri vegoali amen. Oseh shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael ve'imru amen. We Amen.
יעשה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואילו אמן. ועל כל ישראל The Amidah concludes with the Kaddish Shalem on page 48, page 48.
Yitkadav yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'amar divra kirutei bimli malchutei. V'chayehon uviomehon uv'hayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagal uvisman kariv ve'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei rabbam nevorach le'olam ulal me'omaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishagav v'yitpa'ar v'yishromah v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shmei rekudashah
Brichu.
le'elam kol berchata v'shirata tushbichata v'nechamata damiram be'alma ve'imeru.
Amen.
Tikabal sloton uva uton v'chol Yisrael hodam avuchon divishmaya ve'imeru.
Amen.
Yehesh lama rabbamin shemayach v'chayin aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru.
Amen.
V'hosei shalom v'imromam uya'asei shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru.
Amen. Yasher koach. We are going to stay in the chapel because we're about to begin to end the service with Aleinu, which is on page 51, page 51. And so that we can open the ark for this, I'm going to ask Jonah and May to open the ark for Aleinu. We face the ark, and we're on page 51, page 51.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. על כן נקבל לך אדוני אלוהינו אלוק מלך. כי המלכות שלך היא, ולעולמי עד תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב את תורתך אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Please remain standing as Jonah and May close the ark. Yasher Koach, that is teamwork. It's now a time in our service where we remember those who are no longer with us. In the coming week here at PJTC, we are marking the yard site, and that is the anniversary of the passing of Samuel Shefflin, Marion Lauren, Sarah Jen Mintz, May Etkin, Meyer Foreman, Marjorie Carriage, Sarah Minovitz, Ann Loftix, David Hoffman, Lois Kinsler, Samuel Chernock, Sidney Lipser, Dolores Martirosian, Eugene Werner, Edward Zager, the Radkowitz family, Lorraine Rabinowitz, Leslie Lipton, Selena Fishman, Joseph Fishman, Sylvan Klein, Sigmund Mendel, Harold Dinnerman, Samuel Konowitz, Nate Groban, Charlotte Kunin, Harriet Goldberg, Charlotte Beskin, August Fingerhut, Morris Brzezinski, Libby Silberblatt, Sam Hess, Adrian Holzman, and Jenny Vicker. If you have another name that you'd like to lift up in honor at this time, I ask that you hold that name in your heart or say it out loud wherever you are. And if you are in mourning or observing a yard site for anyone, please join us on page 52 for the Mourner's Kaddish. 52, let's pray together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra kirute v'amlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivarach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'pa'ar v'itramam v'itnaseh v'itadar v'itale v'talal Shmei dekudsha brihu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Now we move from kavod to simcha, from honor to joy, and it is my honor to present some people who are presenting gifts to our bat mitzvah. I don't know if, Rose, if you have the a goodie bag there that you want to show off in the neighborhood of the chapel. Let's go to the chapel briefly. You have a few things to show off here. But first, we're going to have presentations by our USY youth group, our sisterhood, and our men's club, beginning with Maya Rosenbaum, who's going to be making a presentation on behalf of our USY.
Hi, Rose. I'm Maya, and I'm speaking on behalf of USY today. Mazel tov, and you did amazing today. You were completely prepared and sounded great, and I know that tomorrow is going to go just as well. This year didn't quite go as planned with everything virtual, so that makes it even more impressive that you're here in person and leading services beautifully. Today, I'm presenting you with a Bechol Had, not this one, but still, which is a book full of songs that's commonly used in regional USY events. This will definitely be useful at any of the events that you hopefully choose to attend, and I do hope that you can get a lot of use out of it. Congratulations again on tonight, and good luck tomorrow. I'm sure you'll do amazing as well.
Yasher Koach, Maya, and now we're going to go to Judy Callahan, who has a presentation on behalf of the PJTC Sisterhood.
Rose, I'm so honored to make this presentation. I have known you and your family since the days at B'nai Simcha and have watched you grow into an accomplished young woman. I know you like the outdoors and soccer and sports and was pleased to read about all the things you do. But I was also very impressed that with all your activities, you are still very aware of the world around you and that your bat mitzvah project was creating care packages for the homeless with masks and hand sanitizer and food and toiletries. And that was just a wonderful thing to do at this time. Sisterhood is presenting you with a Kiddush cup. I hope as you use it, as wherever you travel, that you'll remember your bat mitzvah, and that though it was not quite as you may have envisioned it a few years ago, that be it through Facebook or Facebook Live or streaming or Zoom, that your PJTC family was here supporting you. And we are just thrilled with the beautiful job you are doing and that you are now an adult in our community. Mazel tov to you and your entire family.
Thank you.
Yes, Koach, Judy. Now we go to Ira Blitz with a presentation on behalf of the PJTC Men's Club.
Hi, Rose. It was a pleasure to hear you today. I congratulate you on behalf of Men's Club. I know you have many talents, in particular love to play soccer. However, I have to echo Judy Callahan and tell you that I was especially impressed with your choice of Mitzvah Project, helping the homeless with personal care products that you yourself made. This is so timely and needed in the community at this time. I know that your family is very proud of you. As you know, I am representing the Men's Club, whose mission it is to support the youth programs in our community, including the Louis B. Silver Religious School, B'nai Simcha, USY, and the Federation Youth Orchestra. I have the honor and my favorite duty of presenting you virtually with a beautiful yad on behalf of Men's Club. The yad protects the Torah and adds to the spirituality of its reading. And tomorrow you will have the mitzvah of using this yad while reading the Torah. I think I saw the yad on the table nearby. I congratulate you again on behalf of Men's Club.
Thank you so much.
Yasher Koach, Ira, it is, I almost don't want this to end. This is just going so well. But we are going to, in fact, end this service as we began this service in joyous song. So we really hope you'll sing along with us. And it sounds better if you stand up if you're able to. So please join us. But when we're done singing, make sure you stick around for Kiddush, okay?
Let's join together.
Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, Odivo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. Odivo shalom aleinu. Odivo shalom aleinu. Odivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Odivo shalom aleinu. Odivo shalom aleinu. Odivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos, everybody. Please stick around for Kiddush. We're going to roll some announcements here so you can see what's going on in this community. If you need a link to any of those things for the time being, make sure you read your emails from us. And go grab a glass of wine or a cup of juice or whatever kind of beverage you celebrate with is okay. And meet us right back here. All right, we're getting ready for the Kiddush in the chapel, and let's see, Rose gets the big cup.
Yep.
Everybody else gets cups too, but Rose gets the big one tonight.
Let's join together. For those of you who want to join me in the prayer. ויהי ויהי בוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ, וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Together. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית. כי הוא יום תפילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. לחיים.
All right, if it's your custom to wash your hands before Motzi, now's a great time to do it. And if you want, I'll be thinking of you while I do it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen. Amen.
All righty, let's go back to the chapel, and we're already there.
So now that you guys have the challah there, I'm going to ask you to move everything away a little bit, make some room for the super cool challah that you have there, and maybe the little ones want to uncover it? Uncover it completely. Super cool. Now, please hold on to the challah, lift it up if you want to, and let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lecha min haaretz.
Amen. Good Shabbos, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at PJTC. Mazel Tov to Rose and her family. And if you've joined us live, we're really glad you did. Make sure you come back tomorrow morning at